Welcome back to channel. Today, we are diving into one of the most collected and widely circulated coin series in American history, the United States Jefferson nickel, also known for its iconic Monticello design on the reverse. While most people think of nickels as small everyday coins with little value, the truth is very different when it comes to rare dates, special mint marks, and high-grade examples. In this video, we will explore the most valuable Jefferson nickels ever found, what makes them special, and how some of these 5-cent coins have reached surprising prices in the auction market in dollars. So let's get started. First up. Today's video takes us deep into the world of American coin collecting, where even the smallest 5-cent piece can carry surprising history and unexpected value. We are focusing on the United States Monticello Jefferson nickel, specifically the 1960 issue in very fine condition. A coin that many people overlook, but serious collectors often study closely. While it may seem ordinary at first glance, this coin carries decades of American history, design significance, and collector interest that continues even today in the auction market. To understand the 1960 Jefferson nickel, we first need to look at its background and history. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, and was designed by Felix Schlag. The obverse features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, while the reverse showcases his historic estate, Monticello. By 1960, the United States Mint was producing Jefferson nickels in large quantities to meet everyday circulation demand. Coins from this year were struck in both Philadelphia and Denver, with no major design changes, but slight variations in strike quality and mint mark placement that collectors carefully examine today. The unique features of the 1960 Jefferson nickel make it an interesting study for numismatists. The coin is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it durability and a consistent silvery appearance. On the obverse, Jefferson's portrait is centered with the word liberty and the motto "In God We Trust" clearly visible. The reverse displays Monticello in fine architectural detail, along with inscriptions such as EPLUBUSUNUM and 5 cents. Depending on the mint, you may find a D mint mark for Denver or no mint mark for Philadelphia. Coins in very fine condition still retain clear details in Jefferson's hair and Monticello's columns, which is essential for grading and value assessment. When it comes to rarity and collector demand, the 1960 Jefferson nickel is not considered extremely rare in circulated condition, as millions were minted and used in everyday commerce. However, the story changes when we talk about high-grade examples. Coins that survive in very fine, extremely fine, or mint state condition with strong luster and minimal wear become much more desirable. Additionally, coins with strong strikes or those preserved in original bank rolls attract serious attention from collectors. Proof versions from this era, especially those with deep cameo contrast, are even more sought after, making them stand out in specialized collections. Today's auction market, the value of a 1960 Jefferson nickel depends heavily on its condition and mint state grade. A typical circulated coin in very fine condition usually holds a modest value, often just a few cents to a couple of dollars. However, when we move into higher mint state grades, such as MS65 or above, the value can increase significantly, sometimes reaching $145,000 or more depending on eye appeal and strike quality. Proof versions, especially those with strong cameo contrast, can command higher prices, occasionally reaching $50 to over $150 at auction if they are in exceptional condition. While it is not a $1 million coin, its true value lies in preservation quality and collector demand rather than rarity alone. For collectors interested in Jefferson nickels like the 1960 issue, there are several important tips to keep in mind. First, always examine the coin's surface under good lighting to check for scratches, wear, and cleaning marks, as these can reduce value. Second, pay attention to strike quality, especially on Monticello's steps, since full steps varieties are highly desirable among advanced collectors. Third, consider professional grading for coins that appear to be in mint state condition, as certified coins often perform better in the market. Finally, storing coins properly in holders or capsules helps preserve their condition and long-term value. In conclusion, the 1960 United States Monticello Jefferson nickel may appear to be a simple 5-cent coin, but it carries a rich blend of history, design, and collector interest. While most circulated examples remain affordable, higher grade and proof specimens can achieve impressive prices in the auction market. For collectors, this coin represents an accessible entry point into American numismatics, while still offering the excitement of finding hidden value in everyday currency. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced collector, the 1960 Jefferson nickel is a reminder that even the smallest coin can tell a big story. Next up today, we are diving into one of the most interesting and often overlooked pieces of American numismatic history, the 1962 Jefferson nickel, also known for its iconic Monticello design on the reverse. While it may seem like just another 5-cent coin at first glance, collectors around the world know that certain examples in very fine condition can carry surprising value in today's coin market. In this video, we will explore its history, unique features, rarity, and current auction value in dollars, giving you a complete understanding of why this coin deserves attention from both beginners and serious collectors. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. It was designed by artist Felix Schlag, featuring Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, on the obverse and his historic home, Monticello, on the reverse. The 1962 issue belongs to the early modern Jefferson nickel era, struck during a time when the United States Mint was producing massive quantities of coins for everyday circulation. The 1962 nickel was minted in large numbers at both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. Because of this high production, most examples entered circulation and were heavily used in commerce. However, despite its common origin, surviving pieces in higher grades, especially very fine, extra fine, or uncirculated condition, are increasingly sought after by collectors who appreciate early 1960s coinage in well-preserved form. The 1962 Jefferson nickel carries several distinct features that make it easily recognizable and historically significant. On the front, the portrait of Thomas Jefferson faces left, accompanied by the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1962. A small mint mark, either D for Denver or no mint mark for Philadelphia, appears near the rim on the reverse side, just to the right of Monticello. The reverse design showcases Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia estate, along with the inscriptions EPLUOBUSUNUM, MONTICLLO, 5 cents, and United States of America. The architectural detail of Monticello, with its dome and columns, remains one of the most elegant designs in U.S. coin history. The coin is composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it durability, but also making it prone to surface wear over time, especially in circulated examples. At first glance, the 1962 Jefferson nickel is not considered rare in terms of mintage numbers. Millions were produced, meaning it is still commonly found in coin jars, old collections, and circulation finds. However, the true rarity emerges when focusing on condition and preservation. Most surviving coins show significant wear, scratches, or loss of detail, especially on Jefferson's hair and Monticello's steps. Finding a 1962 nickel in very fine or better condition with sharp details and minimal wear is much less common than people assume. Collectors are especially interested in coins with strong strike quality, original mint luster, and clean surfaces. Full step examples, where the steps of Monticello are clearly defined, are particularly desirable and can dramatically increase collector demand. Because of this condition-based scarcity, demand remains steady among U.S. coin collectors, especially those building complete Jefferson nickel sets. The value of a 1962 Jefferson nickel largely depends on its condition and mint mark. In average circulated condition, the coin typically holds only its face value or slightly more, often ranging from a few cents to around $1 in general market sales. However, in very fine condition, where details are clearly visible and wear is moderate but not heavy, the value can increase to approximately $145,000 depending on eye appeal and mint mark. If the coin is in extra fine or near uncirculated condition, values can rise further, sometimes reaching $5 to $10 in collector markets. Exceptional examples with strong strike quality or full steps on Monticello can command even higher prices at auctions, occasionally reaching $20 or more, depending on demand at the time of sale. While it is not a million-dollar rarity, the 1962 Jefferson nickel demonstrates how condition and grading can significantly transform the value of a common coin into something collectible and financially interesting. For collectors interested in the 1962 Jefferson nickel, the first and most important step is careful examination of condition. Always look at the sharpness of Jefferson's portrait, especially the hair detail, and inspect Monticello's steps for clarity. Avoid cleaning the coin, as polishing or chemical cleaning can severely reduce its value. Original surfaces are highly preferred by collectors and grading services. It is also wise to use proper storage methods, such as coin flips or holders, to protect against moisture and scratches. If you believe you have a higher grade example, consider professional grading, as certified coins often sell for significantly higher prices in the numismatic market. Finally, learning how to identify strike quality and mint marks will greatly improve your ability to recognize valuable pieces within this series. The 1962 Jefferson nickel may appear to be a simple 5-cent coin, but it holds a deeper story within American coinage history. While common in circulation, its true value emerges when found in higher grades or exceptional preservation states. For collectors, it represents an affordable entry point into U.S. numismatics with the potential for surprising auction value. Whether you are a beginner building your first collection or an experienced numismatist searching for quality upgrades, this coin reminds us that even everyday currency can carry hidden value when examined closely. Next up today, we're taking a deep look at a coin that often gets overlooked in everyday pocket change, but still carries strong interest among collectors when examined closely. The United States Jefferson nickel 1985 D mint mark, also known as the Monticello reverse nickel. Even though it may not be a rare headline-making coin in standard circulated condition, it has important historical value, collector appeal, and occasional surprise worth depending on its condition, eras, and preservation. Let's break it all down in detail. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, and it features one of the most recognizable designs in U.S. coinage history. The obverse of the coin shows Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, while the reverse displays his historic home, Monticello. The 1985 edition minted at the Denver Mint carries the D mint mark and represents a modern-era production of this long-running series. By 1985, millions upon millions of these coins were produced for circulation, making them a common part of American currency, yet still an important piece of U.S. numismatic history. The design features of the 1985 D Jefferson nickel are consistent with the standard modern nickel composition used by the U.S. Mint. It is made primarily of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it its familiar silver-gray appearance. The obverse shows a left-facing portrait of Jefferson, originally designed by Felix Schlag, while the reverse displays Monticello with inscriptions including EPLUBUSUNUM, MONTCLLO, and the denomination 5 cents. In worn or dirty condition, details may appear softened or heavily circulated, especially in high mintage years like 1985, where coins passed through countless hands in everyday commerce. When discussing rarity and collector demand, it is important to be realistic. The 1985 D Jefferson nickel is not considered rare in normal circulated condition, even if it appears dirty or heavily worn. These coins were minted in very large quantities, meaning most examples are still easily found today. However, collector interest can increase significantly if the coin is found in exceptional mint state condition, such as MS65 or higher, or if it has unusual characteristics like mint errors, striking anomalies, or strong full details on Monticello. In those special cases, collectors may pay attention and competition can increase among niche numismatists. Now looking at the current market value in dollars, a standard 1985 Jefferson nickel in dirty or heavily circulated condition typically holds a value very close to its face value of 5 cents. In other words, most examples are not worth more than $545,000 unless they have unusual features or are graded in high mint state condition. Uncirculated examples in top grades can reach a few dollars, sometimes slightly higher if certified by professional grading services. Rare error versions, such as misstrikes or off-center strikes, can sometimes reach higher prices depending on demand, but these are exceptions rather than the rule. For collectors, the key is understanding what actually creates value in modern coins like this. Condition is extremely important, so coins with minimal wear, strong luster, and sharp details are always more desirable. Look carefully at the Monticello steps on the reverse side. Fully detailed full steps varieties are often more valuable to serious collectors. Also, always check for mint errors, as even small production mistakes can significantly increase interest. Proper storage is also essential. Keeping coins in protective holders rather than allowing them to remain dirty or scratched can preserve long-term value. In conclusion, the 1985 Jefferson nickel with Monticello design is not a rare coin in normal circulation, especially in dirty or heavily used condition. However, it remains an important part of modern U.S. coinage history and still attracts collector attention when found in exceptional condition or with rare mint errors. While most examples will not bring big money in the market, learning how to identify quality, grading levels, and unusual features can turn even a common nickel into something more interesting for a collector's journey. Every coin tells a story, and even everyday change like this Jefferson nickel is part of that ongoing numismatic history. Next up today, we are taking a close look at the 1974 United States Jefferson nickel, also known as the Monticello nickel because of the famous Monticello mansion design on the reverse. This 5-cent coin is often found in everyday circulation, but many collectors still search for it, especially when it carries a mint mark or shows unusual characteristics. In this video, we will explore its background, design features, collector interest, and most importantly, its real value in today's auction and coin market, especially when found in heavily circulated or dirty condition. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel and honoring Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. The 1974 issue comes from the modern era of this series and was produced at multiple U.S. mint facilities, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coin features Jefferson on the obverse and his historic home, Monticello, on the reverse. By 1974, millions of these nickels were struck for everyday use, meaning they were never intended to be rare or highly collectible in standard condition. Instead, they were part of regular commerce across the United States, making them extremely common today. The 1974 Jefferson nickel has several important design elements. On the front, we see a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson with the word Liberty and the date 1974. Depending on the mint, a small mint mark may appear near the date, showing D for Denver or S for San Francisco proof coins. Philadelphia coins typically carry no mint mark at all. On the reverse, Monticello is centered with the inscriptions MONTICLLO, 5 cents, and United States of America. The design is simple but historically significant, symbolizing Jefferson's legacy as both a statesman and architect. The composition is a copper-nickel-clad coin, giving it durability but not any intrinsic precious metal value. When it comes to rarity, the 1974 Jefferson nickel is not considered rare in circulated or dirty condition. In fact, Billions were minted across all facilities, making it one of the most common coins still found in pocket change. However, collector demand changes when we talk about special varieties. Coins with minting errors such as off-center strikes, clipped planchets, double dies, or unusual striking defects can attract attention from collectors. Also, coins preserved in extremely high grades, such as MS-65 or higher, can hold modest collectible value. In dirty, heavily circulated condition, most 1974 nickels show wear, scratches, and environmental damage. These examples are usually not rare at all, but they still remain part of coin hunting activity for beginners and hobby collectors. In today's coin market, a standard 1974 Jefferson nickel in dirty or heavily circulated condition is generally worth only face value, which is 5 cents. Even in slightly better circulated condition, most examples only sell for around $466,000. Uncirculated examples may reach between $1 to $5 depending on quality and mint mark. However, the real value increase comes only if the coin has a verified mint error or is graded in top mint state condition by professional grading services. Rare error versions can sometimes sell for anywhere between $20 to several $100s at auction, depending on the uniqueness and visibility of the error. But it is important to understand that these cases are exceptions, not the rule for the 1974 nickel. For collectors interested in Jefferson nickels, the key is careful inspection and patience. Always check coins for unusual features such as doubled lettering, off-center strikes, or missing details. Using proper lighting and magnification can help identify small minting errors that are easy to miss. It is also important to store coins properly if you want to preserve their condition. Even common coins can become more desirable if they are kept in high grade over time. Avoid cleaning coins aggressively, as cleaning can reduce their value significantly in the collector market. Collectors should also learn to differentiate between truly rare mint errors and normal wear damage, especially in dirty circulated coins like the 1974 nickel. The 1974 United States Jefferson nickel is a fascinating part of American coin history, but in reality, most examples in dirty circulated condition are not rare and carry very low market value. While it is an important coin for collectors building a full Jefferson nickel set, its real financial value remains minimal unless it has a special mint error or exceptional preservation. Still, coins like this continue to attract attention because every pocket change coin has the potential to surprise collectors with something unusual. Whether you are a beginner or a longtime hobbyist, the 1974 nickel reminds us that even the most common coins can be worth a closer look. If you want, I can also create a viral title, thumbnail text, and SEO description for this video to help it rank better on. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more coin collecting updates. See you in the next video.